Today we're talking about macaroni and cheese, which is why I'm sitting on my table. I feel like in my kitchen is a good place to talk about mac and cheese. So mac and cheese is a staple in our house. I love it. My kids love it. Most of my kids love it. One of them is like iffy on it, but I just don't feel like regular mac and cheese is super filling. And so we're gonna compare two like higher protein macaroni and cheese option, which is a Banza mac and cheese. And I think this is Goodles. Maybe it's Goodles, but we're gonna say Goodles. This is Goodles mac and cheese. So I'm gonna review these products and talk about the nutrition in them. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Dr. Taylor. I have a PhD in nutrition and I help parents teach their kids how to have healthy relationships with food. I also love doing product reviews because I think new food finds and like new feeding gear is fun. It's just fun. So that's what we're talking about today. I am always on the lookout for ways to add some fiber to my kids' diet. I also love a good high protein option. So I found these. This was originally a staple in my house, and then I discovered this, and now I love this too. So let's compare. So first I'm gonna give my general thoughts on these two, and then I'm gonna do like a nutrition comparison breakdown with charts on the screen, of course. So Banza macaroni and cheese is from a line of products that are made from chickpeas. I have pretty much always have this in my house, and I have for a while as like a staple item. And then I recently found this and I was very impressed, but we're talking Banza right now. So there's no wheat in this product, which makes it a great option for people with wheat allergy or with celiac disease. Macaroni and cheese made from chickpeas tends to be a much better source of fiber, protein, and calcium than like a standard mac and cheese. So in this video, I'm referencing Annie's mac and cheese as like my standard, and I'll include that in the chart. So per serving, Banza mac and cheese has 16 grams of protein, 7 grams of fat, and 5 grams of fiber. So great amounts of all of those. And because chickpeas are a really decent source of plant-based calcium, one serving of Banza mac and cheese made as prepared according to the box instruction has 230 milligrams of calcium just in one serving of mac and cheese. And that's a little bit under 25% of what a child needs daily. So it's a decent source of calcium. But my caveat with this is it does taste like chickpeas. I mean, obviously it's made from chickpeas. So if you have like a really selective eater who loves macaroni and cheese or who's really sensitive to changes in things like brands, you're not gonna be fooling anybody into thinking that this is like regular mac and cheese. It's not. It is chickpea mac and cheese, and it tastes like chickpea mac and cheese. I like the taste. Enter Goodles. Okay. Goodles has chickpeas in it, but it also has wheat. So I feel like this is the best of both worlds in terms of like increasing the protein and the fiber and getting another plant-based source of plants. I just spit. Getting some more plants into your kids' diet, but not really sacrificing the taste. This one is Hatch chili because that's one I wanted to try because I like Hatch chili macaroni and cheese, but they have like a white cheddar. So that's what I'm doing on the nutrient comparison because this one is white cheddar and the Annie's mac and cheese that I'm talking about is white cheddar. I digress. This one tastes really similar to like a standard mac and cheese. So if you have a more selective eater and you're wanting to switch them to like a higher protein chickpea based macaroni and cheese, this would be a good next step or a good option because it tastes really good and it's not super chickpea tasting, you know? I really like this. My kids enjoy it too. And because it has chickpeas, it's higher in fiber and protein than a traditional box macaroni and cheese. So let's do a nutrient comparison. So in terms of fat, Banza has the most fat. Goodles and Annie's macaroni and cheese, very similar amounts of fat. Banza's fat though is coming from saturated fat. And although chickpeas are like a decent source of fat, I suspect that the increased fat is more due to whatever they put in the cheese packet than the actual chickpeas itself. In terms of protein, these two just blow Annie's mac and cheese out of the water. Annie's mac and cheese has about 9 grams of protein per serving, whereas Goodles has 15 and Banza mac and cheese has 16 grams of protein per serving. Now we're gonna compare that though to what a child needs in a day. And this is important. So for a 4 to 8 year old, let's assume we're needing like 19 to like 22, maybe up to 25 grams of protein per day, depending on how much they weigh. If we have 16 grams of protein per serving and 15 grams of protein per serving, we are almost meeting their protein needs per day from just one serving. That's a lot of protein. And protein does come in other surprising places in a child's diet. Like if you're like, oh, my kid doesn't like meat and they don't like beans, they don't get enough protein. We still get protein from things like pancakes, bagels, waffles, slices of bread, milk, cheese, yogurt, peanut butter. Most kids don't struggle with meeting their protein needs. Some may have higher protein needs due to like a medical condition or for whatever reason. Maybe they're struggling with growth. Maybe we need to catch them up to where they should be with their growth. Then maybe this is a great option. But a high protein mac and cheese is not necessary for most kids. So yes, these are way higher in protein. And for someone who needs a higher protein option, that's great. But for most young kids, we don't need to switch them to something like this. A regular standard mac and cheese provides them with enough protein. Hope that makes sense. So yes, they're higher in protein, but is it necessary? For most, probably not. It can be challenging for kids to meet that 25 grams per day of fiber. So an Annie's white cheddar mac and cheese has 3 grams of fiber per serving. Banza mac has 5 and Goodles has 6. So they are significantly higher. This is double the Annie's mac and cheese, but it's still only 3 grams more. So depending on the other fruits and veggies that your kid gets throughout the day, they might need a little boost from something like this, and they might not. Now, here's the thing that surprised me when I was reading the labels for these was the calcium content. Goodles has 140 milligrams of calcium per serving and Annie's mac and cheese has 130 milligrams of calcium per serving, but Banza mac and cheese has 230 milligrams of calcium per serving when it's made like with the directions on the box. And that is high. That's a really decent source of calcium, especially for kids who might struggle with getting calcium. Maybe they're not a milk drinker, maybe they don't love yogurt or cheese, but they love macaroni and cheese. This can be a great option to boost the calcium in your kid's diet, and that is likely due to the calcium that's found in chickpeas. Yeah, because there's no calcium added to the pasta. Real quick cost. Goodles mac and cheese is $3.39 for a box at Target. Banza mac and cheese is $3.29 for one box at Target. And Annie's non-organic is $1.59 for a box at Target. So these ones are significantly more expensive than the Annie's option. And Kraft mac and cheese is even cheaper at $1.19 for one box at Target. Okay, anyways, so overall, I love these options if your kid needs a boost in fiber and protein. Though remember that that boost in protein for most young kids is probably not necessary. In terms of the taste, I think they both taste good. This definitely has a chickpea taste, and this tastes more like standard mac and cheese. But because these have higher protein and fiber, they do tend to be more filling, which is one of the reasons that I buy these and keep them as a staple in my house. My kids and myself tend to be more satisfied when eating a meal of this type of mac and cheese than like an Annie's type of mac and cheese. Like we just stay fuller for longer. There's my review. Goodles and Banza. Love them both. There's pros and cons to both. Do what works best for your family, but don't feel bad about just going for the standard mac and cheese because that's still a decent source of fiber, protein, fat, and calcium for your kids. If you want to see me review anything else, drop it into the comments because I love making these videos. And if you want to see more videos on healthy relationships with food for kids, plus reviewing some like fun feeding finds or anything else kid nutrition related, make sure to like and subscribe to this video so the algorithm brings you back here, and stay tuned for more videos to come.